Hello everyone. Thank you for hearing my story. So, growth happens in the dark. So a headhunter once told me, I'm sitting on a golden rice bowl. I had a six-figure salary, very manageable workload, and work-life balance. I can go home at 6 o'clock every day. However, I'm actually going through a lot of storms inside. I was facing a lot of anxiety. My heart was beating very fast, a bit like now. And at the same time, my whole body is shaking. And it will shake so hard that I have to hold my hands down just to calm myself down. My mind will go blank. And so it was a very difficult period that I was going through. And when I was not in this fight, flight, freeze mode, I'm actually very depressed. So depressed that I resort to retail therapy, bought a lot of useless things, still have, anybody want to buy? Second, I did a lot of bubbles to cheer myself up. That was my first year. And the last 2 years in corporate, my first year was like that. My second year, my physical health starts to suffer. I had got ill almost every other day. I had very severe asthma attacks. I could be just watching TV and suddenly I'll have coughing fits to the point that I would get breathless. I couldn't stop. I had to do my inhaler pumps. 6 pumps, most of the time can solve it. But there was once it was 8 pumps. Luckily for me, because if I couldn't get past that 8 pump, I need to go into the hospital already. For those who have asthma, they will know. So I have sinuses because of that. I found that I have blockages in different parts of my face, even above. And that leads to sinuses, which means that when the plane lands, because of the blockage, the pressure is so hard, I get stabbing pains in my eyes and face. So it was very excruciating, like you feel that you could die. And I had to go for surgery. They told me that to do that, it was a 5-figure sum. And actually very soon after, I was let go. So that was the darkest moment in my entire 20+ corporate career. And in the end, it turned out to be the best thing that happened to me. They say it's often in our darkest moments that we realize or discover our greatest potential. So what happened during this dark period, I was trying very hard to overcome this painful and difficult period. I was trying all kinds of things. I was seeking self-help articles, talking to coaches, taking courses. I even talked to a psychologist who planted a seed in my brain, which I rejected it at that time, but only later I realized that he said it's true. He told me workplace bullying. So I was very isolated at work, and my loved ones can only watch helplessly because I'm battling things that's happening outside that is beyond my control, but I'm also battling a lot of things inside. And just only one day, randomly, for some very funny reason, I pick up my phone, went into Play Store, never been there for a long, long time, saw this app, which I don't know very much about it, and downloaded it. It's called Headspace. I don't know if anybody used it. I did my first meditation, and after the longest time, I start to feel a calmness. And that got me kind of hooked. I was started meditating 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, all the way to 45 minutes. And as I meditate every day, I start to be more calm. I start to see things more clearly. And then with that, I can see what is right, what's not so right, what I can control, what I cannot control, so I can make better decisions. That was almost my second year in the storm, end of the second year, and because a few months later, the X fell. So after leaving the company, I was really very tired of corporate life. So it was very funny. I decided maybe just simple life. I'll be a meditation teacher because meditation helped me. And I believe that a lot of people might be also suffering in silence like me, couldn't find any way to get out. So I thought, yeah, I would do that, with the rest of my life. And so, but I didn't want to be a woo-woo kind of meditation teacher. So I started searching for courses and I found mindfulness courses. And in the end, I stumbled upon positive psychology, which has a mindfulness psychology module. Then I realized that everything I went through and everything that I did to overcome was all linked to science. There's a lot of science behind it. And that turned out to be the missing piece in my ikigai. So after graduating, I decided to go out on my own and to support others in this, running and designing programs linked to positive psychology. I realized that everything that I was going through, my life and my interests, the skills I picked up, the people I met, suddenly all makes sense. It all comes back to this, and it's actually leading me to fulfill my greatest desire, which is also right now my life purpose, of inspiring others to be their best self and to live their best lives. So I set up a company. I don't like call it a company, I call it a social enterprise, because for me what matters most is social impact and to support individuals and companies in terms of positive living and working. So it's called P plus Ocean. P plus short for positive. So you'll never know what's beyond the far horizon if you don't dare to lose sight of the shore. I'll share a bit more about this later. Oh, that's what happens. Okay, there is an order, but I will try to make it work. So when the universe shows you exactly when you live your life flowing with the universe will lead you to pathways that you may not imagine. So what happened, long story short, I was trying to get everybody to meditate. My friends who know, I don't buy headspace there for them. Turned out that most of the people don't like to meditate. Too much things in their head, too tired, fall asleep. So cannot work. So I was looking at other ways, and I got curious about Tai Chi, because they say Tai Chi is a moving meditation. Fortunately, the universe brought me to some seniors in a park near my place, started practicing with them. So I was doing like 10 to 12 sets of fan, fist, sword, saber, everything in one morning. So I'm practicing every day, but I'm just following. And in my mind, the universe heard me. I wanted to learn from a proper teacher, learn proper Tai Chi. And it led me to my Sifu, who is actually sitting there. He is actually a Tai Chi master, 12th generation of what we call the original Tai Chi, which is linked to Tang San Fo. So today, I'm actually partnering with him to develop a East meets West program that has Tai Chi and well-being in it, and we have supported kids, working adults, and seniors. So the way I live my life now is actually very different from how I lived 3+ years ago. And if you told me then, in 2023, I would be a Tai Chi instructor, I would laugh at your face. I never know that I will be here, but I'm really very thankful to be in this very fulfilling and meaningful journey. Meeting a lot of people, many of them here support me, like my students and friends, and even people who will encourage me along the way. Thank you very much. So I just want to quickly recap what I've learned in my journey. So growth happens in the dark. When forgive me, I'm a bit messy now. So a lot of time when we think we are sinking or falling, we're actually getting stronger. So that's what's happening. Second, it's often in the darkest moments and in the deepest pain that we discover our greatest potential. So when you feel that you are going to die, that's your old self that's dying. So if you can get through it, you will in the end get through it and become a better version of yourself. And you never know what's beyond the far horizon if you don't dare to lose sight of the shore. So that was a quote that spoke to me when I was in my 40s deciding what I'm going to do. Whether I should go back to corporate after learning the psychology or to do on my own. And this was actually got me to decided to go out on my own. Not easy, because there's no job back to fall back on. You're using your life savings, your funds hyper, you know. And surprisingly, in the end, you realize that if you live life flowing with the universe will actually lead you in pathways that you never imagined. So there are no mistakes, there are no wrong pathways. There are just things that lead you to things that you're meant to be. So in the end, I just want to share, stay like our Tai Chi philosophy, stay centered, be interconnected, mind, body, heart, let go as much as you can, and flow, because the universe will bring you where you're meant to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. So follow the universe.